Hello, thanks for joining us again on the channel. I've always been curious about this one, and now that a friend picked one up, we can finally talk about it, his experience start to finish. Quick note before we begin, there's a discount link in the description and the top comment if you want to check it out. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details. So, this projector has basically become the centerpiece of my living room movie nights. I started with a smaller setup and a different vibe, but this projector made everything feel bigger, more cinematic, and surprisingly approachable to set up in a real living space. First thing that jumps out is the tone mapping and overall image quality. The HDR handling is really impressive. There's no obvious bloom or heavy macro blocking, and you can push the iris a bit for brightness without washing out the blacks. The blacks stay deep and the midtones stay natural, which is exactly the balance I was hoping for. When I watch something bright and glossy like a modern action movie, the highlights pop without turning into a glare mess, which is rare in this class of home theater gear. Color is another win. Flesh tones feel natural, and the overall color balance stays true while still giving you that punch when a film wants a more saturated look. It's not as punchy as a bright OLED in some scenes, but the depth and richness you get from a big screen are very persuasive. And those specular highlights, think sun glint on metal or water droplets, hold up well against the OLED in most scenes without ever looking fake or blown out. Detail and clarity are where this model really shines compared to what I've used before. It uses solid pixel shifting tech, and the result is a sharpness that makes textures stand out, sand, fabric, weathering on surfaces. It isn't native 4K, but the overall impression is very clean, with film grain textures nicely preserved. If you're chasing that true cinema feel, this comes close enough to satisfy without turning your living room into a microscope lab. Setup is surprisingly graceful. The lens shift and zoom give you a lot of placement flexibility. I can position this right in the middle of the room and still get a clean image, which is a big upgrade from some older projectors I've tried. There's a handy grid overlay that appears when you're not sending a signal, which makes centering and adjusting pitch and yaw a breeze. I'm projecting onto a roughly 110-inch gray screen, and the image fills nicely with room to spare. Latency for gaming is solid. I'm pulling in the 23 to 27 millisecond range, which is more than enough for casual gaming and party sessions with friends. It's quiet too, with no real buzz in normal modes, even when the room heats up in summer and a fan is running. The downsides aren't deal breakers. There's a noticeable 11-second delay before 4K content actually shows up via HDMI, which means starting a film means you miss the opening logo unless you pause and restart. The unit is large and fairly heavy, not something you're going to move daily. And while it isn't true native 4K, the image quality is compelling enough that I barely miss that distinction during real viewing. In short, this projector delivers a big, bright cinematic experience with excellent control and room-friendly setup. If you're after a serious, flexible home theater solution and you're okay with the footprint and price, this is worth the investment. It's a standout option for anyone who wants a truly immersive screen without a dedicated theater room. And that wraps up today's video. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. See you next time.